Hello and welcome to Theatre.Reviews with Paul Seven. I'm here at the National Theatre to see Dancing at Lughnasa. Written in 1990 by Brian Friel, Dancing at Lughnasa has come to be regarded as a modern masterpiece. The National Theatre first staged it straight after its Dublin premiere. Now it's back at the National in a brand new production. It's the story of 5 unmarried sisters approaching middle age, whose life is suddenly upended back in 1936. Keep watching, and I'll tell you about the 5 central performances, including those by Siobhan, McSweeney and Louisa Harland from Derry Girls, and how director Josie Rourke has tackled making such an intimate play work on the huge Olivier stage, and whether the play still seems like a masterpiece 30-odd years later. Dancing at Lughnasa is a multi-layered play, which is part of the reason it's so wonderful to watch. For a start, it's a memory play, which in this case means that a narrator tells us at the beginning and at points during the evening that what we are witnessing comes from his memory, mainly from when he was 7 years old. So straight away, the play raises questions about the reliability of memory, but also about the nature of writing itself. Did all that happens really occur in the space of a couple of months? Or is it memory or the writer rearranging them for the sake of a more dramatic narrative? And that leads us to think about truth, whether facts are truth or whether fiction tells us a greater truth about life. At its core is a funny and sad description of the lives of a family under pressure. But this is not only a play about 5 unmarried sisters, it's about human relationships in general, what holds them together, what may drive them apart. And those same questions apply to large communities. So, Dancing at Lughnasa is both specific and universal. Running through the play is the eternal battle between body and mind, id and ego, because Lughnasa is an annual Irish harvest festival, dating back to pre-Christian times, taking place at the beginning of August. It's a time of all kinds of celebratory activities dedicated to pagan gods, certainly originally. A time of walking up hills, picking wild bilberries, and yes, dancing. So, while it was appropriated by the Catholic Church, in essence it opposes the asceticism of Christianity and encourages physical release. The 5 sisters, who for one reason or another are unmarried, live together without parents in poverty. They're moving into middle age, realising they're too old to find a husband, or indeed to dance. They still dream of doing both at the Lughnasa festival. They rely almost entirely on the income from the oldest, Kate, who's a teacher. Kate is straight-laced and sees it as her job to be a quasi-mother, but although she tries to be firm and guided by Christian principles, the cracks in this facade constantly show. Played by Justine Mitchell, we see her trying to hold herself aloof, but constantly bewildered and tempted by her less disciplined sisters. Maggie is the heart of the home. She cooks and she plays. She has the clearest vision, realises what feelings are being suppressed, and diffuses tense situations with a joke or a song. Siobhan McSweeney, whom many will recognise from the TV series Derry Girls, is tremendous in this complex role. Just to spend the whole evening watching her eyes, sizing up situations and wondering how best to respond, would in itself be a masterclass in acting. Agnes and Rose provide the household with some additional income by making gloves. Agnes, played by another Derry Girls alumni, Louisa Harland, is quiet. Rose, played with sensitivity by Blaithin Mac Gabhann, has a learning disability. The others recognise her vulnerability and the need to protect her. The younger sister, Chris, is the unmarried mother of Michael, who as an adult is our narrator. Alison Oliver gives her a brittle naivety. Particularly remarkable is the way she comes to life when she sees her child's father. We're told by Michael, the narrator, played by Tom Vaughan-Lawlor in a flat, almost neutral tone, what is going to happen. And at the end, what happened after the family broke up. So, watching the play is akin to watching a car crash in slow motion. Director Josie Rourke deserves every award going for the way she has brought this production together. I've already indicated that the casting is perfect. Then there's the challenge of presenting an intimate play on the enormous Olivier stage. Her designer, Robert Jones, achieves this by creating a circle that follows the arc of the edge of the thrust stage. And within that is placed a really quite small platform representing the kitchen and the main living area of the house, thus retaining the play's intimacy. In front of this room is a yard or garden, a space mainly occupied by the child Michael, whom we never actually see, since everything is seen by him. Behind, a hill rises, a metaphor perhaps for this family being at the bottom of society, but also a nod to the hill climbing that's part of the Lughnasa rituals. At the top is ripe corn, and at the back what look like hanging string or chain curtains onto which are projected images of the sky, but which also seem to trap the people below. Josie Rourke's direction of the cast around these tight areas is wonderful. You can literally see how close the sisters are physically as well as emotionally. So what are the disruptive events that destroy this family? Firstly, there is the arrival of two men, both in their different ways damaging the reputation of the family. They're caricatures compared with the sisters, but this can be interpreted as being Michael's memory of them. But this does have the added effect of making them very amusing. The sisters' older brother Jack returns from missionary work in Africa, mentally confused at first, but eventually revealing his change from Catholic priest to believer in paganism. It's an hilarious performance from Ardal or Harland, as he talks almost in a stream of consciousness, oblivious to the effect on others of what he's saying. One of the funniest moments is when he keeps unconsciously grabbing a sheet his sisters are attempting to fold, symbolising his disruption of their ordered world. His rejection of Catholicism seems to be the main reason why Kate loses her teaching job and the family their income. Michael's father, a feckless charmer called Jerry, also turns up. He's something of a man-child and, like the actual child, spends most of his time in the garden. He makes many promises he cannot keep before disappearing again. Having tried and failed at many jobs, he's decided to join the International Brigade in Spain, who are fighting for democracy against the Catholic Church-supported dictator Franco. Played by Tom Riley, he's a likeable character. He loves dancing. Dancing seems to be the thing that still unites him and Chris. And dancing is in the title of the play, for a reason. Which brings me to the third disruptor, the new wireless set. It's not news from the outside world that changes their lives, but music. Music which inspires them to dance. As the narrator tells us, dancing as if language had surrendered to movement, as if this ritual, this wordless ceremony, was now the way to speak, to whisper private and sacred things, to be in touch with some otherness. Two of the best scenes in this production are once when Irish music plays on the radio and slowly but then with increasing pace the sisters start to dance, even eventually Kate, until they are frenetically jigging round the tiny kitchen, jumping and high-kicking with abandon. It's a glorious moment, thanks to the women of the cast and choreographer Wayne McGregor. Then later in the play, when Anything Goes is playing on the wireless, two of the characters combine in an erotic dance that reveals their feelings and changes relationships forever. Finally, there's the glove factory that opened, and it puts Aggie and Rose out of work. So this small community is a microcosm of what happened to Western society as a whole, as seen from the end of the 20th century. And the family dynamics at the centre of Dancing at Lughnasa remain fascinating and totally believable, and the dialogue is still a joy. But nearly a quarter way through the 21st century, we have moved on. Now we're grappling with the changes wrought by digital technology, which in very different ways is revolutionising our society and the way we relate to one another. Consequently, the play's nostalgia isn't what it used to be, and it no longer has quite the punch it once did. But nevertheless, I give this production of Dancing at Lughnasa at the National Theatre 4 stars. I hope you found this review useful, and if you did, please like, comment and subscribe to my channel and you'll be the first to know about my future reviews. You can read what I have to say on Theatre.Reviews and follow me on Twitter, Mastodon, Instagram and Facebook. Thank you for watching.